Happy Monday, guys! No, wait, I'm sorry, I apologize. Happy and Monday should not be used in the same sentence together. Let me think. Merry Eve of Christmas Eve, I guess. What's up, guys? I'm Justin from the Common Sense Market. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be throwing some newsy stuff at you, along with our douchebag of the week. So a couple things before we get started. Number one, I'm sorry if my voice sounds even stranger than it normally does. It's the winter and I've got allergies and they're kind of kicking my ass, so what are you going to do? Also, I'm home for the holidays and my dad decided to turn my bedroom into like the Hall of Murica or something, which is why you see all the stars and stripes behind me. Enjoy and or ignore that, I guess. But enough of that. Let's get serious. Okay, maybe not that serious. Now, in case you're wondering, our douchebag of the week is not Phil Robertson. I know it's kind of expected given his comments and the backlash that A&E has gotten, but there's a couple reasons that I didn't feel like he deserved douchebag of the week, so I'm going to explain those in a second. Now, what he said is definitely controversial, and it's kickstarted a lot of anger and frustration on both sides of the aisle. Now, personally, I just don't really care about the situation enough to make him douchebag of the week. I mean, yeah, he said some stuff that pissed a lot of people off, but he was suspended for it. Now, when it comes to the comments themselves, I really think this wouldn't even be news if he had just said that he opposes same-sex marriage. Of course, he took it to the next level with bestiality comments and comparing gay people to adulterers, molesters, drunkards, and prostitutes. And I feel like when you do that, you're kind of just asking for someone else to step in and start an argument with you. But since we're on the subject, I watched my Facebook feed blow up with a bunch of posts about protecting Phil's free speech rights. In reality, his free speech rights aren't being affected at all because this wasn't a government action. His suspension was a business decision that A&E made because they knew they were going to get blowback from his comments. They're just protecting their own interests. Look, this has nothing to do with free speech rights, okay? Phil still has the freedom to say and feel whatever he wants. But like any other person in this country, that doesn't mean that we can't criticize him for something that he says. Now, this is a major problem that I have with those who are on the far right, and that's that if a quote-unquote Christian makes a comment that offends someone, and then they get called out for it, it suddenly turns into an attack on the First Amendment rights of Christians. No, okay, it's called a civil debate. Now, personally, I feel like we as Christians shouldn't just pull this victim card every time someone disagrees with us. It's getting really old, and it always just turns the discussion into a debate about free speech, which gets us basically nowhere. But back to Phil. Now, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened, and it's probably not going to be the last. I mean, it'll blow over in a month or two, and there's already reports coming from A&E that Phil is still going to be featured in the new episodes of Duck Dynasty that air in January, so, I'm kind of bored with this story already. But on to some actual news from New York, where a police officer might be fired over a Facebook post that he made about President Obama. Now, the officer's name is Peter Burns, and on December 11th, he posted the following to a Facebook page. The fact that he, referring to President Obama, is still alive bewilders me. He went on to say, "Go die in a shallow grave, you Muslim commie." Now, as if that's not bad enough, Peter was operating a Facebook page under the name Coon Hunter, because that's not racist at all. Now, Richard Love, who's the police chief, has said that Burns' comments are not going to be tolerated, and he's been placed on administrative leave. Now, it's very likely that he could be fired over those comments, and honestly, I don't really have a problem with that. Now look, I'm all for expressing your opinions, but when you tell someone to go die in a shallow grave, you don't deserve to be an armed police officer anymore. Now, I know Obama's probably used to this kind of language by now. I mean, he's been getting it from the Tea Party for like 6 years, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't take it seriously. And it's Douchebag of the Week time. Now, this week we have our second female to make the Douchebag of the Week roster, and her name is Justine Sacco. Now, Justine is a public relations representative for a company called Interactive Core, or IAC. Now, she was headed on a business trip to Africa a couple days ago, but right before she left, she tweeted the following. Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white. Oh, Justine, you kill me with your racist humor. Now, obviously, this tweet got a lot of internet attention, and IAC surprisingly reacted almost instantly. I mean, Justine was fired before her plane even landed in Africa. Now, I really don't have to explain why she's the douchebag of the week, because the tweet kind of says it all. I mean, it's blatantly racist, and it mocks the serious epidemic of AIDS and HIV in third world countries. It's shameful, and it honestly saddens me that we live in a world where this is still a thing. Of course, Justine has since apologized for the tweet and deleted her account, and she released this statement. Words cannot express how sorry I am and how necessary it is for me to apologize to the people of South Africa, who I have offended due to a needless and careless tweet. There is an AIDS crisis taking place in this country that we read about in America but do not live with or face on a continuous basis. Unfortunately, it is terribly easy to be cavalier about an epidemic that one has never witnessed firsthand. That's all well and good, but I don't know how much it's going to help. I mean, good luck getting a job at another media company after something like this. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think you've probably set a record for quickest firing over a tweet. I mean, these things usually take days or even weeks to get resolved, but your tweet managed to get you fired in a matter of hours. So congratulations, Justine. You've reached new heights of douchebaggery. And for our final story, I thought, why not talk about good old Pope Francis? I mean, the guy's been in the news a lot lately after he took over leadership of the Catholic Church. He's done everything from reevaluating the Church's obsession with homosexuality and abortion to condemning capitalism. And last week, he actually spent his birthday with homeless people. Yeah, the Pope spent his 77th birthday, or at least part of it, having breakfast and mass with 3 homeless men, one of whom brought his dog. Now, I realize this isn't exactly groundbreaking news, but I kind of just wanted to mention how much Pope Francis has surprised me. I mean, I'm not Catholic, but Francis has turned out to be one of the most humble, loving, and accepting popes that I've ever seen. He's about as close as I can get to an example of someone who actually follows the teachings of Jesus. You know, love your neighbor, turn the other cheek, help the poor. I mean, everything that mainstream Christianity has decided is horrible. He does that. He's quite the amazing character, and I honestly can't wait to see what he does next year. So stay awesome, Pope Francis. Well, that's it for me and this video. Links to everything I talked about in the description down below. Don't forget to like and share this video, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. I'm Justin, reminding you to keep common sense alive, don't be a douchebag, and hey, have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys next time.